Good morning to all my friends and welcome to Thursday, a very wet and cold Thursday here in Sydney. I'm on my way to work and I thought I'd just kick off a 5 a.m. club, a Jimmy's 5 a.m. club. And the topic that I want to talk about today is something that I pulled out of a book that I'm currently reading by Harville Hendrix called Finding the Love You Want. And what they talk about in the book is that you basically are what you focus on. And one of the things that he talks about, which I found very, very interesting, I must admit I found this very interesting, is the law of synchronicity. And what he says there is that human beings are wired in a way for them to be true to themselves. And the example that he gives, and I think a lot of us feel this all the time, is that if you're nice to somebody, you feel good, and chances are that they'll feel good as well, because within our bodies, our endocrine system, there are chemicals that are released, endorphins and other pleasure chemicals that make us feel good, and we can trigger those feelings and those chemicals in other people. But most importantly, the opposite is true as well. If you're angry, or if you express anger or unhappiness or basically anger and disappointment, and you project that onto somebody else, not only do you piss them off, but you also piss yourself off, because what happens is that your body secretes these hormones, these chemicals into your bloodstream, and you end up feeling bad yourself. So it's a synchronic sort of episode or experience where your anger makes other people angry and makes them feel bad, but also physically you take ownership of that as well. So as Harville Hendrix talks about in his book, is that we basically are what we focus on. So if we're expressing anger and disappointment to our partners, to our friends, to people around us, there's a ripple effect, and they'll feel angry and upset. Not only they'll feel it in their mind, they'll feel it physically in their bodies as well, because there'll be cortisol secreted into their body, and cortisol is a type of adrenaline. And the reason why we secrete this into our bodies is that when we're angry, when we're agitated, the fear or flight thing in our brain, in our primitive brain, is triggered, and we're on the lookout for further dangers. So we're agitated, we're in state, and science shows, and it's proven, that cortisol in your body, which is the stress hormone, is not good for you. It's not good for you. It's not good for your heart. It's not good for it's just not good for you. In minimal quantities, it can be controlled, but if you're constantly in a state of stress, then you're going to have health issues. And if you're constantly angry and in a state of stress, you're going to cause other people to have health issues as well. So the bottom line is, wherever we can, maintain a positive state, reduce anxiety in ourselves and in our environment and in the people around us. How many times have we worked with people who constantly create anxiety and stress, and it's just not helpful. It's not a pleasant work environment. It's not a productive work environment, and the bottom line is it's just not good for our health. It's not good for their health, and the outcome is not seen till much later on. So I remember a friend of mine years ago saying that people who suffer major diseases, cancers, heart disease and other things, when they trace back over their lives, many of them find that 10 years earlier there was a major trauma in their lives, a divorce, a death, a stressful bankruptcy, or something to that effect, which continually secreted cortisol into their bloodstream, into their body. They were constantly stressed, constantly in a state of anxiety, and that brought upon negative health consequences for them. So I'll stop it here, but I found it very, very interesting in this book, where they talked about the law of synchronicity, and it's important to try and maintain our state and to ensure that we are positive, not only for our own health, but also to the health of our partners, our children, our work colleagues and people around us. I know it's easier said than done, but keep it at the back of your mind. Be mindful that when you're pissed off, when you're angry, try and contain it, because by expressing it, you're making it worse for you and the people around you. Anyway, that's my message for today on this Friday. Actually, what am I talking about? It's not Thursday, it's Friday. And see, I didn't even know what day of the week it was, but I'm even happier now because I know it's Friday, almost the weekend. Anyway, take care, have a good day. Remember to say to yourself, I'm alive, I am well, and I feel great. Take care. Yasas.